Hello, love. Hope you're doing okay. I wanted to take some time to talk about moving abroad. So, on my For You page and just what I've been looking at, and then the algorithm doing its thing, I've been getting a lot more videos and content about how to move abroad and the steps to make that happen, everything in between. However, what I haven't noticed in this content is people talking about the reality if you're chronically ill or disabled, which is that pretty much countries won't accept us because of our health conditions. So I have multiple sclerosis as well as Charcot-Marie-Tooth, which is a genetic disorder that falls under muscular dystrophy. I kind of joked that my whole nervous system is just shot, right? Like I just wasn't lucky from the get go. But because of those two diagnoses, countries won't accept me. And even in my own research, when you go on websites, so for example, when you look at the New Zealand immigration site, multiple sclerosis is listed as a reason for denial. And let me show you that. So this is a screenshot from the New Zealand immigration website. And these are just some of the conditions that you will be denied for. And right here, relapsing or progressive multiple sclerosis or both. And that's kind of the hard reality for people who are in the same position I am, right? We're kind of stuck. Most we can do is we can probably get some kind of visa and continue to prolong and extend our stay in other countries. But then it goes into how do we get our medications, right? So for me, I'm on a drug modifying therapy called Ocrevus, which is an infusion I get every 6 months to help prevent new lesions and to help prevent a relapse of symptoms for my multiple sclerosis. And, I mean, once again, the pro is that I only need to do it every 6 months. But what would that mean? I would have to still have an American address somehow, come back every 6 months to America, I suppose, to get my infusion, which in America is over $100,000 per infusion. And it would be a lot financially, right? Like if you can make it work, that is great. But the hard reality is that once again, if you're chronically ill or disabled, we have to be here. We have to be here and we have to fight the fight if we choose to do so. And it's heartbreaking and disappointing that other countries won't take me because of my conditions. Obviously, no one really chooses to be chronically ill or disabled. But yeah, and with some other countries too, they may not even allow certain medications. Like I know Japan, I think, has ADHD medication banned, for example. So it's kind of like it's not as easy as depicted to move if you're chronically ill or disabled, or even have some particular mental health diagnosis. I know if you're on the autism spectrum, you could also be denied for immigration. And that's just kind of the hard reality of the world. If people know of countries who take in chronically ill and disabled, please let me know. But from my research, unfortunately, that's not the case. So doesn't mean, you know, still won't try to see if there are options out there. I mean, obviously, like the prominent one is marriage, right? Marrying someone from a different country. But that's not even necessarily the case either. So from what I read from, for example, like immigrating into Canada, if you marry your spouse who's Canadian and apply to be a Canadian citizen, you can still get rejected. So nothing is ever foolproof. But I wanted to just make a video about that because I noticed no one was talking about it. I noticed that none of these creators were kind of saying the truth about, if you're chronically ill and disabled, unfortunately, you may not be able to fully immigrate. Once again, we can still get visas, but if we're on medications like I am, it's also, either you choose to go without it and relapse and regress, or you have to somehow come back to America every so often or go to a country where you can get your meds. And there's all these extra layers and steps that make it difficult. But so if you're chronically ill or disabled or have other diagnoses that make it hard, I see you, I hear you, and it's tough. Just there has to be one country that will take us, y'all. Like, once again, we didn't ask for this, but it's tough. So, moving abroad is a privilege, and I think that needs to be acknowledged.